Hello friends, welcome back Smiling Face with Smiling Eyes. Today we are exploring some amazing United States Roosevelt dimes including years 1973D, 1977D, 1980P, 1987D, and 1992D. These coins are part of the famous One Dime series featuring President Franklin D. Roosevelt on the front and the Torch of Liberty with olive and oak branches on the back. Each coin carries powerful inscriptions like Liberty, In God We Trust, and EPLURIBUSUNUM, representing freedom, faith, and unity of the United States. Most of these dimes were made for everyday use, but collectors still look for high-grade, uncirculated, and error coins that can sometimes be more valuable. So friends, stay tuned and check your old coins. You might have a hidden treasure in your collection. Money bag. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to explore more coin history with us. United States of America, 1973 D. Roosevelt Dime, 1 dime. The 1973 D. Roosevelt Dime is an important coin in the modern United States coin series, and a favorite among collectors who appreciate American history and numismatics. Minted at the Denver Mint, this coin carries the D mint mark, identifying its place of production. The obverse features the left-facing portrait of President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States, whose leadership during the Great Depression and World War II left a lasting impact on the nation. Roosevelt was also closely associated with the March of Dimes, an organization established to combat polio, making his portrait a fitting choice for the nation's 10-cent coin. Surrounding the portrait are the inscriptions Liberty, In God We Trust, and the date 1973, with the small D mint mark positioned next to the date. The reverse of the 1973 D. Roosevelt dime features one of the most recognizable designs in American coinage. At the center is a torch, representing liberty and enlightenment, flanked by an olive branch, symbolizing peace, and an oak branch, representing strength, courage, and independence. Above these symbols appears the Latin motto EPLURIBUSUNUM, meaning out of many, one, reflecting the unity of the United States. Around the edge is the inscription, United States of America, while the denomination, 1 dime, is displayed at the bottom. This elegant reverse design was created by John R. Sinek, and has remained an enduring symbol of American values since the Roosevelt dime was introduced in 1946. The 1973 D. Roosevelt dime is struck in a copper-nickel clad composition, consisting of a pure copper core sandwiched between outer layers of copper and nickel. It weighs 2.268 grams, has a diameter of 17.91 millimeters, and features a reeded edge. Unlike Roosevelt dimes minted before 1965, the 1973 D coin contains no silver, as the U.S. Mint had already transitioned to clad coinage to reduce production costs and preserve silver reserves. Even without precious metal content, the coin remains highly collectible because of its historical significance, attractive design, and role in everyday American commerce during the early 1970s. Millions of 1973 D. Roosevelt dimes were produced for circulation, making standard circulated examples common and generally worth only their face value of 10 cents. However, collectors place much greater value on uncirculated specimens that retain their original mint luster and sharp strike. Coins graded MS66, MS67, or higher by professional grading services such as PCGS or NGC can command much higher prices, especially if they display the desirable full bands FB designation. Full bands refers to the complete and well-defined horizontal bands on the torch found on the reverse, indicating an exceptionally sharp strike from fresh dies. The 1973 D. Roosevelt dime is also known for several interesting mint error varieties that attract collectors. These include off-center strikes, clip planchets, die cracks, double dies, broad strikes, strike-through errors, and other unusual minting mistakes. Error coins are significantly scarcer than regular issues, and depending on the rarity and condition, they may sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Because of this, many collectors carefully inspect every 1973 dime they encounter, hoping to discover a valuable error or an exceptionally well-preserved example hidden in circulation or old coin collections. Today, the 1973 Roosevelt dime continues to be an important part of the Roosevelt Dime series and American numismatic history. Its classic portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt, patriotic inscriptions Liberty, In God We Trust, and EPLURIBUSUNUM, together with its symbolic reverse design, make it much more than an ordinary 10-cent coin. Whether collected for its history, artistic beauty, mint varieties, or investment potential, the 1973 Roosevelt dime remains a timeless reminder of the craftsmanship of the United States Mint and the enduring values of the nation. It is a coin that appeals to beginner collectors, experienced numismatists, and anyone interested in preserving a small but meaningful piece of American heritage. The 1973 Roosevelt dime is also appreciated because it reflects an important period in American history when the United States Mint was producing billions of coins to meet the growing demand for commerce. During the early 1970s, inflation and an expanding economy increased the need for circulating coinage, making the Denver Mint one of the busiest mints in the country. Every 1973 dime was struck with high-speed coining presses designed to produce consistent, durable coins for everyday use. Although millions entered circulation, finding one today with flawless surfaces, brilliant mint luster, and a sharp strike is much more difficult than many people expect. For this reason, collectors continue searching through bank rolls, old coin jars, estate collections, and inherited albums in hopes of discovering an outstanding example. One of the most important features collectors examine on the 1973 Roosevelt dime is the overall quality of the strike. A well-struck coin will display crisp details in Roosevelt's hair, face, and ear, while the reverse torch will show strong, fully separated horizontal bands. These full bands, FB, examples are significantly scarcer than ordinary coins because achieving a perfect strike required fresh dies and proper striking pressure during production. Coins receiving the full band's designation from professional grading services are highly respected within the numismatic community and often command much stronger prices than standard uncirculated examples. Even a small difference in strike quality can greatly influence the value of a certified coin. Collectors also pay close attention to the preservation of the coin's original mint luster, the bright reflective finish created during the striking process. Once a coin enters circulation, this delicate surface gradually wears away through handling and contact with other coins. Uncirculated 1973 dimes that still display vibrant cartwheel luster are especially attractive and desirable. Professional grading companies such as PCGS and NGC evaluate these coins based on strike quality, surface preservation, luster, and eye appeal. High-grade certified coins, particularly those graded MS67 or higher with full bands, have achieved impressive prices in auctions because of their rarity and outstanding condition. The 1973 Roosevelt dime is also an exciting coin for error collectors. While most examples were struck correctly, a small number left the mint with unusual production mistakes such as doubled dies, die cracks, clip planchets, off-center strikes, broad strikes, strike-through errors, and rotated dies. These mint errors make each affected coin unique and can greatly increase its value. Depending on the type of error, the visibility of the mistake, and the coin's condition, some examples have sold for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. This possibility encourages collectors to inspect every 1973 dime carefully, as valuable discoveries can still be made in old collections or even in circulation. More than 50 years after its release, The 1973 D. Roosevelt dime continues to be admired by collectors around the world. It represents the enduring legacy of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, the excellence of United States mint craftsmanship, and the nation's commitment to liberty, peace, and unity. The inscriptions, United States of America, Liberty, In God We Trust, and EPLURIBUS UNUM, remind collectors of the values represented on America's coinage. Whether kept as a historical souvenir, added to a Roosevelt dime collection, or studied as part of modern U.S. numismatics, the 1973 D. Roosevelt dime remains a fascinating and meaningful coin whose story continues to inspire collectors generation after generation. United States of America, 1977 D. Roosevelt dime, 1 dime. The 1977 D. Roosevelt dime is an important coin in the history of modern United States coinage. It was struck at the Denver Mint, identified by the D mint mark located on the obverse near the date. This coin belongs to the Roosevelt dime series, which began in 1946 to honor President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, FDR, after his death in 1945. Roosevelt was remembered for leading the United States through the Great Depression and World War II, and for supporting the March of Dimes, a campaign dedicated to fighting polio. The obverse of the coin features Roosevelt's left-facing portrait, designed by John R. Sinek. Surrounding the portrait are the inscriptions Liberty, In God We Trust, and the date 1977, while the Denver D mint mark confirms where the coin was produced. The reverse of the 1977 D. Roosevelt dime displays one of the most symbolic designs in American coinage. At the center is a torch, representing liberty, enlightenment, and freedom. On the left side is an olive branch symbolizing peace, while the oak branch on the right represents strength, honor, and national independence. Above the design appears the national motto, EPLURIBUS UNUM, meaning out of many, one, emphasizing the unity of the American states. Around the edge are the inscriptions, United States of America, and at the bottom is the denomination, 1 dime. These patriotic symbols and inscriptions have remained unchanged for decades, making the Roosevelt dime one of the most recognizable coins in the United States. The 1977 D. Roosevelt dime was struck using a copper-nickel clad composition, consisting of an inner copper core covered by outer layers of copper and nickel. The coin weighs 2.268 grams, measures 17.91 millimeters in diameter, has a thickness of approximately 1.35 millimeters, and features a reeded edge with closely spaced grooves. Unlike Roosevelt dimes minted before 1965, this coin contains no silver, as the U.S. Mint had switched to clad coinage to reduce production costs while maintaining durability for everyday circulation. During 1977, the Denver Mint produced over 495 million Roosevelt dimes, making the coin relatively common in circulated condition. Because of its high mintage, most worn examples remain worth only their face value of 10 cents. However, collectors actively seek high-grade uncirculated examples with original mint luster and sharp details. Coins certified by PCGS or NGC in grades such as MS66, MS67, or higher, especially those with the desirable full bands FB designation, can be worth significantly more. The full bands designation indicates complete separation of the horizontal bands on the reverse torch, showing an exceptionally strong strike. Collectors also search for 1977 D. Roosevelt dime error coins, including off-center strikes, doubled dies, die cracks, clipped planchets, broad strikes, strike-through errors, and rotated dies. These mint errors occurred during production and are much rarer than normal coins. Depending on the rarity of the error and the coin's overall condition, such pieces may sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. As a result, many collectors carefully examine old coin rolls, bankrupt dimes, estate collections, and inherited coin albums in hopes of finding an overlooked error or high-grade specimen. The 1977 D. Roosevelt dime remains a favorite among collectors because it combines historical significance, affordability, and the possibility of discovering valuable varieties. Although originally intended for everyday commerce, this coin has become an important part of modern American numismatics. The inscriptions Liberty, In God We Trust, EPLURIBUSUNUM, and United States of America reflect the nation's enduring values, while Roosevelt's portrait honors one of America's most influential presidents. Whether collected as part of a complete Roosevelt dime set, preserved in mint condition, or studied for rare errors, the 1977 D. Roosevelt dime continues to be appreciated by collectors around the world for its history, craftsmanship, and lasting legacy. The 1977 D. Roosevelt dime is widely appreciated because it represents an important chapter in the evolution of modern United States coinage. During the late 1970s, the United States Mint was producing billions of circulating coins to meet the demands of a growing economy. The Denver Mint operated around the clock using high-speed coining presses that struck millions of dimes with remarkable consistency. Although the 1977 D dime was produced in very large numbers, finding a coin today with flawless surfaces, exceptional eye appeal, and original mint brilliance is much more challenging than many people expect. This makes premium quality examples especially attractive to collectors who focus on modern U.S. coins. One of the most important features collectors examine on the 1977 D. Roosevelt dime is the quality of the strike. A sharply struck coin will show crisp details in President Roosevelt's hair, forehead, ear, and jawline. On the reverse, the torch should display fully separated horizontal bands, known among collectors as full bands, FB. Because not every coin received a perfect strike during production, full bands examples are considerably scarcer than ordinary circulation strikes. Professional grading companies such as PCGS and NGC recognize these exceptional coins with the full bands designation, making them highly desirable for advanced collectors and registry set participants. Another factor that greatly influences the value of the 1977 D. Roosevelt dime is its original mint luster. Freshly struck coins leave the mint with a brilliant surface that reflects light in a distinctive cartwheel effect. Over time, circulation gradually wears away this delicate finish, reducing both eye appeal and collectible value. Uncirculated examples that have been carefully preserved in original mint sets or bank rolls often retain their bright luster and clean surfaces. Coins certified in grades MS66, MS67, or MS68 are much scarcer than lower-grade pieces and can command strong premiums in the numismatic marketplace. The 1977 D. Roosevelt dime is also popular among collectors who specialize in mint errors and die varieties. While the vast majority of coins were struck correctly, a small number left the mint with unusual production mistakes. These include off-center strikes, clip planchets, broad strikes, doubled dies, strike-through errors, die cracks, cuds, and rotated dies. Depending on the size of the error and the overall condition of the coin, these unusual pieces can be worth anywhere from a few dollars to several hundred or even thousands of dollars. Because of this possibility, collectors continue searching through old coin collections and rolls of dimes, hoping to discover a rare and valuable example. Nearly 5 decades after it entered circulation, the 1977 D. Roosevelt dime remains a meaningful part of American numismatic history. It honors the legacy of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, celebrates the craftsmanship of the United States Mint, and carries patriotic inscriptions including Liberty, In God We Trust, EPLURIBUSUNUM, and United States of America. Although it was created as an everyday 10-cent coin, it has become an important collectible for people interested in history, minting technology, and modern U.S. coinage. Whether collected for its design, historical significance, rare errors, or investment potential, the 1977 Roosevelt dime continues to hold a respected place in collections around the world. United States of America, 1980p Roosevelt dime, 1 dime. The 1980p Roosevelt dime is one of the most recognizable modern coins of the United States and remains an important part of American numismatic history. Struck at the Philadelphia Mint, this coin carries the P mint mark, which was first introduced on Philadelphia dimes in 1980, making it a significant issue for collectors. The obverse features a left-facing portrait of President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, honoring the 32nd President of the United States for his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II. Surrounding the portrait are the inspiring inscriptions "Liberty," "In God We Trust," and the date 1980, while the small P mint mark appears beside the date, distinguishing it from earlier Philadelphia dimes that lacked mint marks. The reverse of the coin displays the national motto, EPLURIBUSUNUM, above a beautifully designed torch flanked by an olive branch and an oak branch. The torch symbolizes liberty, the olive branch represents peace, and the oak branch stands for strength and independence. Around the outer edge appears the inscription, United States of America, while the denomination 1 dime is shown at the bottom. This elegant design, created by engraver John R. Sinek, has been used on Roosevelt dimes since 1946 and continues to be admired for its timeless appearance. The 1980p Roosevelt dime is composed of a copper core clad with 75% copper and 25% nickel, giving it the familiar silver-colored appearance while containing no actual silver. It weighs 2.268 grams, measures 17.91 millimeters in diameter, and has a reeded edge with 118 reeds. Millions of these dimes were produced for everyday circulation, making them common in pocket change during the early 1980s. Although regular circulated examples are worth only face value, high-grade uncirculated specimens and coins with exceptional luster are sought after by collectors, especially those certified in mint state grades such as MS66, MS67, or higher. Collectors also search for error varieties on the 1980p dime. Some examples exhibit off-center strikes, broad strikes, clip planchets, die cracks, doubled dies, repunched mint marks, or dramatic misalignments. These minting errors can make an otherwise common coin much more valuable, with certain rare examples selling for hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on the rarity, condition, and demand. Because the P mint mark was new for Philadelphia dimes in 1980, this issue holds a special place in U.S. coin collecting history. The Roosevelt Dime series is more than just a collection of 10-cent coins. It is a tribute to President Roosevelt's legacy and his support for the March of Dimes campaign, which fought polio and helped improve public health across the United States. The 1980p Roosevelt dime reflects American history, craftsmanship, and national values through its enduring design and symbolism. Whether discovered in circulation, preserved in an album, or certified by a grading service, this coin remains an affordable and fascinating collectible for beginners and experienced numismatists alike. As time passes, well-preserved examples continue to attract interest, ensuring that the 1980p Roosevelt dime remains an important piece of modern United States coinage and a lasting reminder of America's rich numismatic heritage. The 1980p Roosevelt dime also represents an important era in United States coin production, as the American economy experienced high inflation and changing metal prices during the late 1970s and early 1980s. By this time, the U.S. Mint had long replaced the 90% silver composition of dimes with a durable copper-nickel-clad alloy, first introduced in 1965. This change allowed the government to keep producing circulating coinage efficiently while maintaining the coin's familiar appearance. Despite lacking silver, the 1980p dime remains an attractive collectible because of its historical significance, especially as one of the first Philadelphia dimes to display the P mint mark. This small detail makes the coin easy to identify and gives it a unique place in the Roosevelt dime series. Many collectors enjoy searching through bank rolls and old coin collections for high-quality 1980p dimes with strong luster, sharp details, and clean surfaces. Coins that have never entered circulation often retain their original mint brilliance, known as mint luster, which reflects light in a distinctive cartwheel pattern. Examples with full strike details, especially those showing complete horizontal and vertical bands on the torch, known as full bands or FB, are especially desirable among advanced collectors. These full band specimens are much scarcer than ordinary coins and often command significant premiums when certified by professional grading services such as PCGS or NGC. The market value of a 1980p Roosevelt dime depends heavily on its condition and rarity. A circulated coin is generally worth only its face value of 10 cents, but uncirculated examples can be worth several dollars. Coins graded MS-67 or higher, particularly those with the full band's designation, may sell for hundreds of dollars at auction. Rare mint errors, including dramatic off-center strikes, double strikes, wrong planchets, and major die varieties, can be worth even more. Because of this, collectors carefully inspect every 1980p dime they find, hoping to discover an overlooked rarity hidden in everyday change. Today, the 1980p Roosevelt dime remains one of the most collected modern U.S. coins because it combines historical importance, affordability, and the excitement of searching for valuable varieties. Whether you are building a complete Roosevelt dime collection, studying U.S. mint history, or simply appreciating the artistry of American coinage, the 1980p dime is a meaningful piece of history. Its classic design, national mottos Liberty, In God We Trust, and EPLURIBUS UNUM, together with its connection to President Franklin D. Roosevelt, ensure that this small 10-cent coin will continue to be admired by collectors around the world for generations to come. United States of America, 1987 D. Roosevelt dime, 1 dime. The 1987 D. Roosevelt dime is a classic modern United States coin that was struck at the Denver Mint and carries the D mint mark. This 10-cent coin is part of the long-running Roosevelt dime series, which began in 1946 to honor President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States. Roosevelt was chosen for the dime because of his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II, as well as his strong connection to the March of Dimes, an organization created to fight polio. The obverse of the coin features Roosevelt's left-facing portrait designed by John R. Sinek. Around the portrait appear the inscriptions Liberty, In God We Trust, and the date 1987, while the D mint mark appears near the date, identifying the coin as a Denver Mint issue. The reverse design of the 1987 D. Roosevelt dime is rich in symbolism and has remained one of the most recognizable designs in American coinage. At the center is a torch, representing liberty and enlightenment. On the left side is an olive branch, symbolizing peace, while the oak branch on the right represents strength, courage, and independence. Above these symbols appears the national motto, EPLURIBUS UNUM, meaning out of many, one, reflecting the unity of the United States. Encircling the design are the words United States of America, with the denomination 1 dime displayed prominently at the bottom. The combination of these patriotic inscriptions and meaningful symbols makes the Roosevelt dime one of the most respected circulating coins in the United States. The 1987 D. Roosevelt dime is struck in a copper-nickel clad composition, consisting of an inner core of pure copper bonded to outer layers of copper and nickel. The coin weighs 2.268 grams, has a diameter of 17.91 millimeters, a thickness of approximately 1.35 millimeters, and features a reeded edge. Unlike Roosevelt dimes minted before 1965, the 1987D issue contains no silver, making it a durable coin designed for everyday circulation. Even without precious metal content, it remains an important collectible because of its historical significance, attractive design, and its place within one of the most popular modern U.S. coin series. The Denver Mint produced more than 900 million 1987D Roosevelt dimes for circulation, making the coin common in worn condition. Circulated examples are generally worth only their face value of 10 cents, but uncirculated pieces with original mint luster are much more desirable. Coins graded MS66, MS67, or higher, especially those receiving the full band's FB designation from grading services such as PCGS or NGC, can be worth significantly more. The full band's designation indicates that the horizontal bands on the torch are completely separated and sharply struck, a feature highly valued by advanced collectors. Collectors also search for 1987D Roosevelt dime error coins, including off-center strikes, doubled dies, die cracks, clipped planchets, broad strikes, strike-through errors, and rotated dies. Although these errors are uncommon, they can greatly increase the value of a coin depending on the type of error, its visibility, and the overall condition. Some dramatic mint errors have sold for hundreds or even thousands of dollars at major coin auctions. Because of this, collectors often examine rolls of dimes and inherited coin collections carefully, hoping to discover a rare variety that escaped normal quality control. The 1987D Roosevelt dime remains an excellent choice for beginner and experienced collectors alike. It represents American history, the legacy of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, and the craftsmanship of the United States Mint. The patriotic inscriptions Liberty, In God We Trust, and EPLURIBUS UNUM remind collectors of the values that have long appeared on United States coinage. Whether collected as part of a complete Roosevelt dime set, studied for mint errors, or preserved in high-grade condition, the 1987D Roosevelt dime continues to be admired by coin enthusiasts around the world as a timeless symbol of American numismatic heritage. The 1987D Roosevelt dime represents an important period in the history of modern United States coinage. During the 1980s, the U.S. Mint focused on producing durable clad coins capable of withstanding decades of circulation. The Denver Mint was one of the busiest minting facilities in the country, striking hundreds of millions of dimes each year to meet the growing demand for everyday commerce. Although the 1987D dime was produced in large numbers, finding one today with exceptional eye appeal, flawless surfaces, and strong original mint luster is far more difficult than many collectors expect. As a result, premium quality examples continue to attract attention from numismatists who specialize in modern U.S. coins. One of the most desirable characteristics of the 1987D Roosevelt dime is the full band's FB designation. On the reverse of the coin, the central torch contains two pairs of horizontal bands. When these bands are completely separated and sharply defined, professional grading companies such as PCGS and NGC award the coin the full band's designation. Because many circulation strikes were not perfectly struck, full bands examples are much scarcer than ordinary coins. Collectors are often willing to pay substantial premiums for certified MS67 or MS68 full band specimens due to their outstanding strike quality and rarity. The value of a 1987D Roosevelt dime depends primarily on its condition. Most circulated examples remain worth only their face value of 10 cents because of their high mintage. However, brilliant uncirculated coins preserved directly from original mint rolls or government-issued mint sets are considerably more valuable. Coins with attractive luster, clean surfaces, and high certified grades may sell for several dollars, while superb gem examples with the full band's designation have realized hundreds of dollars at major coin auctions. The combination of rarity in top grades and strong collector demand makes these coins especially desirable for registry set collectors. Collectors also enjoy searching for mint errors on the 1987 Roosevelt dime. Some coins were accidentally struck with unusual production mistakes, including off-center strikes, broad strikes, clipped planchets, die cracks, doubled dies, strike-through errors, and rotated dies. Although these errors represent only a tiny fraction of the total mintage, they can significantly increase a coin's value. Depending on the rarity of the error and the coin's preservation, certain examples have sold for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. This possibility encourages collectors to inspect every 1987 dime they encounter, whether found in circulation, coin rolls, or inherited collections. More than 3 decades after its release, the 1987 Roosevelt dime continues to be admired by collectors around the world. It reflects the enduring legacy of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, the quality craftsmanship of the United States Mint, and the patriotic ideals represented by the inscriptions Liberty, In God We Trust, and EPLURIBUS UNUM. While it was originally produced as an everyday 10-cent coin, today it also serves as a historical artifact that tells the story of modern American coinage. Whether collected for its design, historical significance, mint errors, or investment potential, the 1987 Roosevelt dime remains a fascinating and worthwhile addition to any United States coin collection. United States of America, 1992 Roosevelt dime, 1 dime. The 1992 Roosevelt dime is an important coin in the modern history of United States coinage. It was struck at the Denver Mint, identified by the small D mint mark located to the left of the date on the obverse. This coin is part of the Roosevelt dime series, which has been produced continuously since 1946 in honor of President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States. Roosevelt is remembered for leading the nation through the Great Depression and World War II, as well as for his support of the March of Dimes, an organization dedicated to fighting polio. The obverse features Roosevelt's left-facing portrait designed by John R. Sinek, surrounded by the inscriptions Liberty, In God We Trust, and the date 1992. The portrait has become one of the most recognizable designs in American coinage, and reflects the respect Americans continue to have for Roosevelt's leadership and legacy. The reverse of the 1992 Roosevelt dime displays a classic design rich in symbolism. At the center stands a torch, representing liberty, enlightenment, and the enduring spirit of freedom. On the left side of the torch is an olive branch symbolizing peace, while the oak branch on the right represents strength, courage, and national stability. Above the torch appears the national motto, EPLURIBUS UNUM, meaning out of many, one, emphasizing the unity of the United States. Around the upper edge are the words United States of America, while the denomination 1 dime appears below the design. These patriotic elements have remained virtually unchanged for decades, making the Roosevelt dime one of the most familiar and respected coins in circulation. The 1992 Roosevelt dime was struck using the standard copper-nickel clad composition, consisting of a pure copper core bonded between outer layers of copper and nickel. The coin weighs 2.268 grams, has a diameter of 17.91 millimeters, a thickness of approximately 1.35 millimeters, and features a reeded edge with fine vertical grooves. Unlike Roosevelt dimes minted before 1965, this coin contains no silver, as the United States Mint adopted clad coinage to reduce production costs while maintaining durability for everyday circulation. This strong metal composition allows many examples to survive decades of use while retaining much of their original detail. During 1992, the Denver Mint produced hundreds of millions of Roosevelt dimes, making the coin common in circulated condition. Because of its large mintage, worn examples are generally worth only their face value of 10 cents. However, collectors actively seek brilliant uncirculated examples with original mint luster, sharp strikes, and clean surfaces. Coins professionally graded by PCGS or NGC, especially those receiving grades such as MS67, MS68, or higher, can be significantly more valuable. Collectors also prize coins displaying the desirable full bands, FB designation, indicating complete separation of the horizontal bands across the torch on the reverse. These sharply struck examples are scarcer than ordinary coins and often command premium prices in the numismatic market. The 1992 D. Roosevelt dime is also an exciting coin for collectors interested in mint errors and die varieties. Although most coins were produced correctly, a small number were accidentally struck with unusual production mistakes such as off-center strikes, doubled dies, die cracks, clipped planchets, broad strikes, strike-through errors, cud errors, and rotated dies. Depending on the rarity of the error, the visibility of the mistake, and the overall condition of the coin, these pieces may be worth anywhere from a few dollars to several hundred or even thousands of dollars. For this reason, collectors carefully inspect coin rolls, pocket change, inherited collections, and old mint sets in hopes of discovering a valuable error coin. The 1992 D. Roosevelt dime remains an excellent example of modern American coinage and continues to be appreciated by collectors around the world. It honors the legacy of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, reflects the quality craftsmanship of the United States Mint, and carries the patriotic inscriptions Liberty, In God We Trust, EPLURIBUSUNUM, and United States of America. Whether collected for its historical significance, attractive design, mint errors, or high-grade rarity, the 1992 D. Roosevelt dime remains a meaningful and enduring addition to any United States coin collection. Its combination of history, symbolism, and collectability ensures that it will continue to interest both beginning collectors and experienced numismatists for many years to come. The 1992 D. Roosevelt dime continues to attract collectors because it represents the quality and precision of modern United States mint production during the early 1990s. At that time, the Denver Mint was producing millions of coins every day to satisfy the nation's growing demand for circulating coinage. Advanced minting equipment helped create coins with consistent designs and durable finishes, but only a small percentage left the mint with exceptionally sharp strikes and nearly flawless surfaces. Today, these premium quality examples are much more difficult to locate than ordinary circulated coins, making them highly desirable among collectors who specialize in modern Roosevelt dimes. One of the most important characteristics collectors examine is the coin's strike quality. A well-struck 1992 D. Roosevelt dime will display crisp details in President Roosevelt's hair, forehead, cheek, and ear. On the reverse, the torch should show complete separation of its horizontal bands, known as the full bands FB designation. Coins that receive the full bands designation from professional grading companies such as PCGS or NGC are considered superior examples because they demonstrate exceptional striking quality. These coins are much scarcer than ordinary circulation strikes and often command significantly higher prices in the collector market. Another feature that greatly affects value is the coin's original mint luster. Freshly struck coins possess a bright, reflective surface that creates a beautiful cartwheel effect when viewed under light. This delicate finish is easily damaged through circulation, cleaning, or improper storage. Collectors therefore seek uncirculated examples that still retain their natural brilliance and attractive eye appeal. Coins preserved in original mint sets, bank rolls, or protective holders often remain in excellent condition and may receive high grades such as MS67, MS68, or even higher. These superb examples are considerably rarer than lower-grade coins and are especially popular with registry set collectors. The 1992 D. Roosevelt dime is also a favorite among collectors searching for mint errors and unusual die varieties. Although most coins were struck correctly, a limited number left the Denver Mint with production errors such as off-center strikes, clipped planchets, broad strikes, doubled dies, die cracks, strike-through errors, cuds, and rotated dies. Depending on the rarity and severity of the error, these unusual coins may be worth from a few dollars to hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Many collectors carefully inspect rolls of dimes, old family collections, and estate holdings because valuable error coins can still be discovered decades after they were minted, more than 30 years after its release. The 1992 D. Roosevelt dime remains an important part of American numismatic history. It honors President Franklin D. Roosevelt, whose leadership helped shape the United States during some of its most challenging years, while also celebrating the craftsmanship of the United States Mint. The patriotic inscriptions Liberty, In God We Trust, EPLURIBUS UNUM, and United States of America continue to remind collectors of the nation's history and ideals. Whether collected for its historical significance, beautiful design, high-grade rarity, full bands designation, or valuable mint errors, the 1992 D. Roosevelt dime remains a fascinating and rewarding coin for collectors throughout the world.